Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back to Mirror Expressions, you all. I want y'all to take the time to hit like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. And also drop a mirror emoji down in the comments if you have looked into a mirror today and you feel A1 with what you see looking back at you. And if not, as always, I encourage you to take whatever avenues that you must to get back to a healthier you. I want you always to look in the mirror and be happy with what you see looking back. And of course, I'm not just talking about the physical, right? I'm talking about all the things that you can't see as well. Without further ado, y'all, we are going over Married to Medicine, Season 9, Episode 9, The Breaking Point. This episode was kind of chill. You know, it was cool. Kind of like a filler episode, maybe. Nothing really kind of popped off. But, you know, it had a lot of good points. So, y'all know how they do with the opening scene. We always get like a preview of what everybody has going on. She helping little Mason get himself together. Simone, she's meeting with a patient. Toya and her boys, they're cleaning up. And then we see Heavenly, and she's bringing Dr. Damon some lunch over to his practice, right? And I just say, kudos to him, right? Because we learned that this is his second practice that he's opened up in a new location. So he has 2 pain management facilities now. And baby, that man was looking good. He had his little suit on. He was looking kind of dapper. I said, okay, Dr. Damon. But no, I just love seeing the success of his businesses taking off like that. And so anyway, they're sitting down, eating, and Heavenly asks him his thoughts on what happened at Simone and Cecil's, right? So he says he didn't enjoy it. He then takes her by the hand and he says, I didn't mean to get as upset as I did, buddy. Oh, she admits that she was just being being disrespectful, like by continuing things going even after, you know, he told her to kind of stop and slow it down or whatever. And he was just like, you know, I was just trying to be a peacemaker. And he's like, that's just in his nature. He can't help it that he's like that. He didn't mean for it to go left the way it did. And I could see that. Like, I didn't feel like he had any kind of malicious intent at all with anything that he said at their party, at the dinner party or whatever. And Heavenly says that, you know, she'll never put him in that position again. And in my head, I was just like, yeah, we shall see. But she does say that she a contestant. They just need some time. So over at Contessa and Scott, you know, they share practice together. And so they're just kind of talking about their workload. And then Scott brings up Heavenly. And I said, y'all know they have to be being prompted to bring up these certain situations, right? They just have to be. So anyway, he brings up Heavenly, and he says, you know, every time they get together, it's around. And then we get a flashback to the intervention at Scott and Contessa's house, and he says, round 1, ding. And then we get a flashback to the fight that Contessa and Heavenly had back in Vegas. And he's like, round 2, ding. Then we get a flashback to the fight that they just had at Simone and Cecil's dinner party. And he's like, round 3, ding. And so she just claims that she's over it all. And I'm just like, I call BS, because we clearly see how Contessa can hold on to a grudge. But she says she's over it. Right? She says, you know, she knows Heavenly is experiencing a lot of things and bigger issues with her mom actively passing away. And so she's just trying to kind of pushing that pettiness to the side and just trying to focus on that. Like she said, she sends her inspirational quotes and she prays for her and all that jazz. I personally don't think Contessa's over it, but hey. And so we get this kind of back and forth. So we back over to Heavenly and Damon. And so Heavenly apologizes and she said, that she's dealing with a lot concerning her mom, but how that is no excuse for how she's been acting out. And Damon said he didn't really put two and two together at first as far as how she's been acting could have been related to what she's dealing with her mom. And so he just kind of lets her know, that he's there for her. And I just, again, my heart just goes out to Heavenly. I know she did say her mom did go on and pass away, but just to be in that place and where things are happening like that, and then also to have it documented, I just know that had to have been hard for her. But anyways, you know what, y'all, too, I think it's I think it's funny. This is why I was chuckling a minute ago. I think it's so funny how Heavenly refers to Damon as daddy. And I think it's even funnier how he refers to her as buddy. Like, every time I hear him say that, it just cracks me up. But I really do like their relationship. Like, even with all of that, like, that's their thing. It works for them. So, but yeah, I like them together. So anyway, back over with Contessa and Scott. Contessa saying that she's just been praying and that she still loves Heavenly. She loves her like a sister. And here go Dr. Scott. Y'all sure been fighting like sisters. And then he says, no more than sisters. And he's right. They really been into it like there's two ninjas off the street. That's how they been going at each other like. Oh, yeah. So up next, we see Anila. No, not Anila, but Audra. She has her own segment now. I said, okay, girl. I see you, boo. So we see her and her husband Martin, and they're meeting with their wedding planner. So apparently they've already tied the knot. They went to the courthouse, tied the knot, but due to this virus that we've been dealing with the past few years, they have not yet had their wedding. They put a wedding off. So now they're trying to go ahead and move forward with the wedding. And so they're planning for it. And we learned that they met at Howard Homecoming. Like, he was an alumni and or an alumni. And she, I think, was just there. And they end up meeting. And they said they met like on a Saturday. He took her out like that Tuesday. And they've been together ever since. But anyway, as far as the wedding, they talk about costs. We find out that they've kind of gone over their budget. But she also speaks about how she wants to add a lot of her Ghanaian culture into their wedding. So that was pretty cool. Anila and her mom, they're riding out in the car. And Anila is going on and on and on about this blog. Y'all know how she do. Like, their blogging is so important. Like, it's just popping. And I ain't gonna say nothing because I'm not a big social media person. But I'm just saying, before this show, I ain't never heard of Anila. And even if I go on Instagram, ain't nothing popping up for her just off top. I'm just saying. That's just what I see. But anyway, so she going on and on about this blogging and how she ain't got time to do it all. So she asked her mom, how are things going? Is she enjoying living with them? And so her mom was like, it's okay. And then we get like this montage of different snippets of her mom doing things that is irking her and Dr. Kieran. So Anila is opening this hair store. This is where her and her mom on their way to. And so she's wanted to open this store where she's just going to sell raw Indian hair, because she's just kind of saying that, you know, a lot of people go through hair loss, especially like around the children. Then we see like pictures of her when she lost her hair. And baby, this stuff was thin. I was like, oh, I didn't have that problem. Like, you know, of course, during your pregnancy, usually your hair just gets lustrous, it gets thicker and longer. And I pretty much had a nice, thick, long hair anyways. And so even after my pregnancy, I didn't do much shedding. I did some, but I know women do. They will shed, just like a lot of things change when you're pregnant. Like your feet grow, and like usually after your pregnancy, they go back down. Like mine grew, but only one went back to the regular size. So I have 2 different size feet. It is so weird. But yeah, so I think that's good. You know, I'm glad to see her doing something other than her blogging. But this is what I want to know. Like, Anila, how you gonna have time to open and run a store, girl? When you can't, you got all this blogging to do, and you ain't got time to raise your own kids. I'm just saying. So, anyways, they go in to check out the shop space. And child, that mama, she had something to say about every room they went into. Like Anila's, I don't know, business partners. I think they were her business partners, maybe. Oh, one was so flamboyant, baby. But anyway, they were going around showing her the different places within the shop. And it was just like every room they went into, mama had something to say. She just looked like a little bit negative Nancy, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I think that's good. She's opening that store. But yeah, I do want to know how she gonna call herself juggling this. I think that's just gonna be one more excuse to not be able to be present for her children. Over to Dr. Jackie. She's meeting with this lesbian couple. They have their own podcast, and I think they're comedians. Is what it is. But anyway, Dr. Jackie met them, and she ended up being a guest on their podcast show. And so they're coming in to see her to get checked out, you know, as far as their women health is concerned, because apparently neither one has taken the time to do so. Okay. So we learned that there is this misconception amongst lesbian women that visits to the OBGYN just are just not important. And I never really knew that. I never heard that before. But I guess I can see why some people would think that, you know. I guess I was just taught differently growing up, that, you know, you go see your OBGYN just because you're a woman. That's another aspect of your health. But I can get, like, some people think you see it OBGYN if you're being sexually active. And so, like, one of the partners in that relationship said, you know, since we weren't having heterosexual sex, I just didn't think it was important. So I can see why people think that. I just didn't think about it in that aspect, that a lot of lesbians thought along those lines. But I also learned that lesbian women are more at risk for breast cancer. And this is why I love this show. When I get little nuggets like that, like, because that was something else I never knew. I never even heard of that. And so now I gotta go do my research, because I'm wondering why now. Like, what is it about same-sex relationships that can cause a woman to be more prone to having breast cancer? Like, yeah, I gotta do my research on that one. So anyway, baby, and Dr. Jackie's confessional look right through here. I said, okay, I see you, boo, with the braids. Eyebrows were on point, or as somebody once told me, eyebrows are fleek nasty. Baby, Dr. Jackie was looking good, honey. Not to say that she doesn't always, because I think all the women are beautiful, but honey, I was feeling that little confessional look, boo. I was feeling it. Yes. So over to Kieran's practice. He's hosting an event just for the men, right? He's called it Burgers, Bourbon, and Botox. And when I first saw the sign before we knew what it was, I was like, okay. Is he doing this like a couples thing? It was the whole Botox that was kind of throwing me off. I was like, oh, and this must be a couples thing. But no, it's just for the men. So, and y'all, them caterers was there. If you've been watching my videos, you know I laugh, and baby, them caterers be everywhere. So he has food, he got them drinks, he got them massages, he got them a nail spa, he got the injectables, of course. And so, the men, they show up and they all dressed up. I mean, just decked out, all of them. Let me see. Jackie's husband, Curtis. I'm trying to think his name. He showed up, baby, and that car was bad. I don't know what it was. It was like one of them old school cars, but baby, that thing was so pretty. It was like a matte white almost, baby. That thing was cute. And I'm not even into cars at all. But I like that. So anyways, Kieran, they sitting around. Kieran trying to get the men to to get some Botox, and ain't nobody budge. Everybody looking around like, nah, I pass on that. Oh, and to be honest, I don't think I want my man get no Botox either. Like, I'm gonna need you to keep that little rugged look. You know what I'm saying? Scott finally shows up. He was the only one that was kind of late. I think they said like his daughter had a recital or something. But so once he shows up, they all start talking about their wives get the O shot. Baby, and Eugene is happy. Do you hear me? He can't start grinning. He's just like, yup, so you got one. Oh, Dr. Damon, he brings up this BioTE. I think that's what BioTE treatment, and it's like a hormone replacement too. And so where it just I think it releases so much hormone over a period of time so that it'll last for quite a while, right? But anyways, he said when he tried it, it had him feeling like he was back in the 8th grade. Y'all, everybody was like, the 8th grade? And he go, yeah, I could control myself back then. See that, David? I said, you the little nasty little boy, little mannish little boy I would have been trying to keep my little girl from. Doing all that hunching in the 8th grade. Somebody, he could control himself. What you doing having sex in the 8th grade, Dr. David? Oh, my goodness. But anyway, in their little confessional, Heavenly was talking about him trying the BioTE hormone treatment. And she was like, she won't allow him to get it no more because she can't keep up with him. Talking about they gonna have to add about 3-4 more people in the room if he keep getting them. Talking about we already do it every night. I can't take it that many times a day. Oh, child. So the men, they're just chopping it up or whatever. And Eugene, he's talking about his career. Martin, he's asking for marriage advice. Kieran, he talking about how Anila is his real live pincushion. Meanwhile, the whole time, Martin is talking and asking for marital advice. He's getting a massage, right? And so the guys kind of started pranking on him by switching places with the massage therapist. Like first it was Curtis, and then Kieran. And so they, was acting like they was the massage therapist, but doing silly stuff like sticking a finger in his ear or whatever. And so when he realized that, Mom was like, oh, they done switched it up on me. And here go Eugene. He's like, yep, just like marriage, they switch up on you. So I'm kind of feeling like, but at this point, of course, we find out a little later on, but at this point, I was kind of just feeling like, maybe, Toya and Eugene are just, kind of hitting a rough patch in their marriage right now. Just thinking back on last week's episode, and then like just some of the things that we've seen so far in this episode just had me thinking that. But anyways, we do find out that they kind of really are hitting a rough patch. Nothing like divorce, or at least nothing that they've come across to us as being divorced. But marriages have their tough times. So we see Toya, she goes to see her spiritual advisor, Lady C. And so she's just mentioning that there's been a lack of emotional support from Eugene. And I think she's just saying like this is a lack of emotions, period. And that it kind of started with the country the world just being shut down, because of this virus. Right. And then so on the flip side, we see Eugene going to visit Dr. Damon. And so he's just kind of going there to talk to him about wanting a change. We heard him say that, I think, episode before last. He wants a change. He's getting burnt out with the ER. And so he's just interested in seeing how Dr. Damon created a life outside of emergency medicine, because that's how Eugene got into it. They kind of started working together. Like, I think Dr. Damon was kind of like his mentor at that point. So anyway, so he's basically just looking for change. Back over with Toya, she says the Panorama created this divide in her household, and that the kids were picking up on her unhappiness. And she said, she didn't realize she was unhappy. The kids noticed it before she noticed it. You know what I'm saying? And so we see Eugene and Damon still talking. And Eugene is just talking about, his burnout. And I really like that he feels safe enough to be open and to seek advisory from someone that he trusts. Like, I love that. And I love to see that Dr. Damon took the time to listen and give him advice. So, yeah, I think more of that is needed within our community. But I love to see that happen. And because a lot of times, men especially will hold things in, like, say in Dr. Eugene's case, that just being tired, getting that burnout, men will probably try to hold that in and just continue to struggle through to provide, and you know what I'm saying, versus maybe seeking out other avenues or even sharing with someone else and seeing, or maybe getting advice on a different route to take, but still being able to manage his household. You know what I'm saying? So I like that they were able to do that. All right, y'all. We on the home stretch. So we're back at Anita's house, y'all. Y'all know. So we see her mom cooking, and Neela comes downstairs and she starts like going in. Because the kitchen is not clean. You still got dirty. She got dirty dishes on the table, stuff on the floor. And so she asked her mom, like, why she ain't cleaning? And her mama was like, what you mean? So basically, she wants her mom to be a nanny, a maid, but what else? A plumber, a damn mechanic, like, Anila. Like, you a human being too. You can make things happen too. Oh, but anyway, her mom was just like, I do a lot. I can't do it all. And she said, teach your kids to pick up behind themselves. And that's doggone right. They are old enough to pick up behind themselves. I think the youngest one, he's what, 4? And like her mama said, they can put their plates in the sink once they're finished. They can pick up their dirty clothes off the floor. They can pick up their toys. I'm just like, that's right. But this is what part of Torpia, she said, either you haven't been teaching them or Miss Gomez did teach them. I said, baby, that papa just threw them up under the bus, baby. But Anila did not like hearing it. So she is walking off, right? So then her mama come follow her, try to fan her. And so they sit down and they start talking, and Anila, you know, she's airing out her frustrations. She's like, we gave you a list of rules and you have yet to follow one rule. And her mama is like, I won't. And Anila was like, but you're in my house. And her mom is like, I'm grown. I'm here to help you. Anila says, well, then stop treating me like a kid. And her mama's basically like, well, I can go. I'm here to help you. I ain't got to be here. And Anila said, or what you could do is just change. And mom was like, I ain't changing for nobody. And bye. And she got up and left. And I was just like, oh, okay. Y'all, that was the end of the episode. Like I said, this episode was real low-key, real chill. Nothing spectacular happened. It seemed more like kind of a filler episode to me. But like I said, I mean, it had its good points. We got some information from Dr. Jackie about same-sex female-female relationships that I never knew. I like just seeing the men come together, always having a good time. That I love seeing that positive things. I love that mentorship type of relationship between Damon and Eugene. Yeah, so like I said, nothing bad. It had its good moments, but you know, it just wasn't that exciting episode. But we'll see what's gonna happen next. And until next time, I'm gonna pray for you all. You pray for me. And we will continue to watch God change things. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, y'all.